Imagine a computer that weighs 30 tons, fills an entire room, and uses enough electricity to power a small neighborhood. On February 15, 1946, the world met ENIAC, the first general-purpose electronic computer. And in that moment, everything changed. Stay with me, because this is the story of how 6 brilliant women and a room full of blinking lights created the future you're living in right now. It's 1943. The world is at war, and the U.S. Army has a problem. They need to calculate artillery firing tables, complex mathematical charts that tell soldiers where to aim their weapons. Every calculation takes 20 hours when done by hand, and they need thousands of these calculations. It's taking forever, and soldiers' lives depend on accuracy. Enter 2 University of Pennsylvania engineers, John Mauchly and J. Presper Eckert. They have a crazy idea. What if we could build a machine that does calculations using electricity instead of gears? What if we could solve in seconds what takes humans hours? The Army says, prove it. They give them funding, and the race begins. The machine they design is absolutely massive. 18,000 vacuum tubes, 70,000 resistors, 5 million hand-soldered connections. It's 100 feet long, 10 feet high, 3 feet deep. It weighs 30 tons. When they turn it on, it uses 150 kilowatts of power. Legend says the lights in West Philadelphia dim whenever ENIAC runs. But here's what most history books leave out. The people who actually make ENIAC work, who figure out how to program this beast, aren't the famous engineers. There are 6 women: Kay McNulty, Betty Snyder, Marlyn Wescoff, Ruth Lichterman, Jean Jennings, and Fran Bilas. They're mathematicians, recruited because computers was women's work back then. Little did anyone know that these 6 women were about to invent computer programming. ENIAC has no programming language, no instruction manual, no software. These women have to figure out how to make it work by studying circuit diagrams, physically plugging in cables, and manually setting switches. Programming ENIAC means crawling inside it, moving thousands of connections. They spend months learning every vacuum tube, every circuit, every possibility. They essentially teach themselves to think like computers before anyone even knows what that means. February 15, 1946, the University of Pennsylvania announces a press demonstration. They call it the Giant Brain. Reporters and scientists pack into the Moore School of Engineering. The 6 women programmers have prepared a special demonstration, something that'll blow everyone's mind. They're going to calculate a missile trajectory, a problem that takes human computers 20 hours. ENIAC will do it in 30 seconds. The switches are set, the button is pressed, ENIAC roars to life. Vacuum tubes glow, electricity hums, and in 30 seconds, the answer appears. The room erupts. Reporters scramble to their typewriters. Scientists stand with their mouths open. One mathematician says, "If this is the future, I want to be part of it." They're right. It is the future. ENIAC can perform 5,000 calculations per second. It's 1,000 times faster than any machine before it. That missile trajectory that took 20 hours, ENIAC does it faster than the missile actually flies. The Army starts using it immediately. Weather prediction, atomic research, aerodynamics, they're all suddenly possible. The atomic age needs computing power, and ENIAC delivers. But here's what matters most. ENIAC proves something nobody was sure about. Electronic computers actually work. Within a few years, dozens of companies will be building computers. Within decades, computers will be in universities, businesses, and homes. Within your lifetime, they're in your pocket. That smartphone you're watching this on, it has 10 billion times the computing power of ENIAC. 10 billion times. And it weighs less than a slice of bread. So the next time you tap your phone, send an email, or search for anything, remember February 15th, 1946. Remember a 30-ton machine that filled a room and changed everything. Remember 6 women who taught themselves to program when programming didn't even have a name. They gave us the digital age. They gave us the future. and they did it one hand-soldered connection at a time. Every single day here on History Sparks, we uncover stories like this, stories of ordinary people who did extraordinary things. And here's what strikes me. Those 6 women programmers were doing something nobody had done before. They had no guidebook, no teachers, no roadmap. They had to figure it out themselves. Does that sound familiar? You're doing things nobody in your family has done before. You're navigating a world your grandparents couldn't have imagined. And someday, maybe 50 years from now, someone's going to look back at what you did and think, wow, they were pioneers. But here's the thing, your story, your challenges, your breakthroughs, they don't get remembered unless someone writes them down. What are you pioneering right now? What are you figuring out without a manual? Maybe you're the first in your family to go to college. Maybe you're learning to be a parent. Maybe you're building something, creating something, surviving something hard. These stories matter. Your great-grandchildren deserve to know what you overcame, what you built, and what you dared to try when you didn't know if it would work. I'm creating a free guide to help you write your family story, to capture those moments of courage when you had no roadmap but kept going anyway. It's simple, straightforward, and it'll help you preserve what matters most. Would you use something like that? Comment yes if you want to make sure your story isn't lost, because 70 years from now, someone might be telling it. If this story inspired you and reminded you that pioneers are just ordinary people who refuse to give up, join the History Sparks community. Subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, because tomorrow I've got another story about people who changed the world without a manual. Your story matters just as much as theirs. Let's make sure it gets told. See you tomorrow, Pioneer.